It's recording. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Real Men. I'm your host, Josh McGlon. Co-host, Big Steady. Special guest today, Brandon Pettis, candidate for mayor of Oxford, Mississippi. How you doing today, Brandon? How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually just got done walking around at the at Lamar Park, and I'm still sitting here in my.
Sounds good, man. That sounds good. It's good to go for a walk sometimes.
Yes, sir. I've just been trying to.
Hey, calm down with the sir. I'm not that old. Yeah.
everybody tell me that whenever I talk to them,
but
I think it's.
I got kids, but I'm not that old. They don't even say sir to me all the
time. I hear you.
All right, well, how we always like to start our shows, we ask, how was your day? How was your week? Anything interesting or good happened to you? I'll let you go first. Well, anything good, interesting happened to you today or recently, or that you like to talk about?
Well, beyond the fact that I went to one of my friends and my brother's friend's birthday shower today, nothing really interesting has been happening to me. I've just been focused on the campaign trail and trying to figure out ways to reach more people with everything that's going on.
Yeah, well, that's interesting enough, I guess, trying to be creative with their campaign trails. It was difficult enough for me a couple of years ago, but you're talking about inter-COVID, and it's a whole nother story. So I'm pretty sure it's been pretty interesting for you.
It has been thus far, honestly.
Good, yeah. Well, I hope it's been a good interesting. It's always good to learn something.
It has been a good one. I've met a lot of nice people and good people as well who are ready and willing to work for the city. And I've been learning well too, because I'm not going to deny it to anyone. I am young, so it's really been a huge learning experience for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, it's always good to learn. What about you, Big Steady? Anything interesting or good? Or
well, I went to work and just I was listening to a bunch of stuff today, and I heard something, and I saw a motivation that really touched my heart. And the fact that I just heard you say, "I'm young," it's a learning thing, and it's real talk, real men. So I'm gonna put you on game before the game will come to you. It says most people who doubt you because they can never see themselves doing what you're trying to do. So I need you to loosen up and realize they're gonna come after you. I saw this for myself today, but when I was here and I heard you, I was looking for this to let you know that they're gonna doubt you. Don't let that stop you. They're gonna doubt you just because it's you. And they don't have the tenacity or the drive to even try. So just you said that day one good, it didn't go fast, it didn't go good enough. One not exciting. Well, let's make it exciting. You running for mayor. This real talk, real man. You a young man, a young black man running for mayor. You can't have no fear. So get yourself together. Let's do this. Because the people watching this, they gonna see you.
That's it, man. And that's why I really want to bring you on. So I'm sure you've probably been to several different things, but it's not as much stuff available right now because of COVID and really short period of time to run your campaign. So I really reached out to you and wanted to hear what you had to say, and a lot of other people want to hear what you got to say. And there are some people that watch this show, but I'm really interested in hearing about yourself, for myself, because I was a young, black person running for a political office a couple of years ago. So I know how it feels. I don't know what it feels like to run for mayor, but I do know what it feels like, to be the youngest in the pack and to be, sort of a black sheep, so to speak, in the entire pack. But first of all, congratulations, kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
I don't care what people have to say. I don't see a whole bunch of people throwing their hats in that, because it's not easy to take that step to do that, and it's not easy to finish it out to the end. And you're getting pretty close to election day, and you hadn't quit yet, and I don't expect you will. So I respect you for that, and I appreciate that as well. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
man, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. Like I said, we don't really follow a script per se. I like to give my guests a list of questions, just kind of as a guideline, as you know what we're gonna say or what we like to talk about, topically, and kind of stay within that range. But we go all over the place sometimes.
Yeah, just like 2 minutes ago.
A lot of times.
A lot of times.
I actually prepare for it, so I'm ready for it.
Okay. Yeah.
I read the questions, but I've been meeting with lots of people recently anyway, so I actually wanted to go ahead and do this interview without creating a script beforehand because I feel comfortable enough to go ahead and answer questions right off the top of my head and give an answer that's from the heart and not from the mind so much.
Yeah. That's it. That's what I've tried when I was running for supervisor. I tried to create a scripted answer to certain questions and try to make a video, and it just didn't work because I can't operate that way. I'm not. Some people can do a scripted thing and say A B C D E F G, and I rather, if it's in there, I like to say what I got to say, coming out of my heart, and I think I perform best off the cuff. But anyway, as we all know, you are running for mayor of Oxford, Mississippi, at 18 years old, a Black male at that. And when people ask me all the time when I was running, they were like, why did you do it? And when I talk about it now, I'm like, for some reason I decided to run for something. I say it jokingly, but I did it for the people. A lot of people want to do it for the limelight or to get their name out there, and it does help to get your name out there. But why now? Why mayor? Why now at 18 years old and in 2021?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I've been
real talk, real man. That's what we say before we say something real.
Yeah,
real talk,
real men.
There you go.
Been focused on this since I was in 8th grade, actually. And after the year that we had with the former president, and then, the past 4 years of the current mayor's term as well, I just felt like now would be a better time than any. And considering the fact that I was studying politics and business in school at the time, I thought, why not go into it? I also technically have my own LLC as well. So I understand, in my opinion, to the point of how to operate a business, and politics is nothing more than business in my mind, except there are politicians currently who don't really focus on the good for people anymore. And that's what I want to do. So I think I'm just like you when you ran. I'm doing this for the people, not for anything more. That's why I haven't changed the core parts of who I am or how I dress whenever I walk in certain rooms, but I still understand that might not fly well with some people.
Yeah, that's a good answer, because that struck something as well with me when I first started running for supervisor, and it's not as white collar, I guess, as mayor, because historically people look at supervisor as somebody that's hard worker, a farmer. Back in the day, they be guys that wearing overalls or work clothes. Now it's a little more administrative than it used to be. But yeah, I have an MBA. I've got professional background, education, and all that. So I was going in subconsciously like, well, I need to cover. I've got tattoos, and that I'm like, man, these people are gonna see my tattoos and judge me, before they even hear what I have to say. And I did that for a while. I wore long sleeve shirts in the dead of summer, trying to, look a certain way. And then when I finally realized it doesn't matter what they see me as on the outside. Once they figure out who I am on the inside, that's what I'm going to it for. That's why you run the platform that you're running, not because of who you look like on the outside, because you are on the inside.
Mm.
And I can identify with you on that. And I finally, put the short sleeves on and like, who cares to see my tattoos? Because I started taking them off of Facebook and I was like, oh man, who cares? I mean, it's a form of my expression. It's an artistic form of expression for me. But that has nothing to do with, who I am running for this political office.
Yes, that's exactly what I believe as well. Somebody questioned me actually about my hair recently, and even took to go into the topic of race and how I was appropriating my own culture. I just thought pretty interesting, but
Appropriating your own culture.
wisely as well. So I chose not to respond to that one.
I take it that was that a white person that said that to you?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Person of color.
a white person. The white person said that, appropriating culture, that's ridiculous, bro. That's just how it is nowadays.
Yeah.
That's how the world is nowadays. They got kids that are getting in trouble for wearing a certain hairstyle. Like, you can't walk at your graduation because you have dreads or because you have braids. That's freaking ridiculous.
But it's those things that push me to.
It's 2021, man. Come on, get with it.
I feel like this country has a huge issue with social problems. And I mean, I understand that we need to work on the business aspect too, but it don't even seem like we can get along. So, I mean, if we can't get along, then we won't be able to work together. And that's what I really want to get more people to understand, because people aren't solely not going back to work right now and doing certain things that they're doing because of the handouts that they're getting. It's because they finally, a lot of them anyway, have finally opened their eyes and saw what I have been seeing for so long, which is why I chose to run, like I said.
They woke is what you're saying.
Essentially, yeah.
That's what they call it, the woke movement or whatever.
Woke one.
Yeah, but honestly, on my last show, I talked briefly about an encounter that I had during my campaign. It wasn't directed to me, but it was just stuff that I experienced and saw. And I won't say that I'm all the way woke, but I see a lot more than I, saw before then. I can the shades have come off, and I can see a lot of stuff that I wouldn't normally see before. But you talked about wanting to run right now and bridge the gap, between races, and I mean it's the age gap as well, because we have a lot of young people and we got a lot of old people, and we've got to bridge that mentality together. How do you plan to use your youth and your race to bridge the gap between those two areas?
Well, excuse me, real talk, real men again.
Real talk, real men. Let's go.
Okay.
If there are white viewers when they see this, I don't mean any disrespect toward them, but 244 years ago exactly, people that look like me built this country. So, me being young as well, I think it'll be a good look while I'm in office to promote youth being a part of their community and understanding what's going on, as well as the fact that I do like to work. I do still work at the gas station a lot of the times and go up there just to talk to people as well. And I don't even work there for money. So I'm really not doing any of this for money. I just would like to honestly not put the country back on track, because I mean, we were never on any tracks, but fix all that we still have that existed when the country started. And it's baffling to me, honestly, to see that all of this has carried out for as long as it has. And like everyone says, you're 18, you should be focused on growing up right now and still being a child and having fun. But I don't think I can have fun with this reality, essentially, because just too much going on.
Yeah, well, nothing to grow you up better than getting thrown into the lion's den with all these political sharks.
Yeah.
Well, good thing it's not like, of course, this is small town politics. It's not like statewide and federal, so it's not going to be like but a whole ton of mudslinging going on. But at the same time, you do have to be cognizant of, that you don't look like everybody else. This people that are in office or people that you're running against, and you're not. I mean, we're nothing alike, but we all the same. That's what they don't get. Anyway, real talk, real man. What you got, Steady?
I'm really just listening to the wisdom of the youngster.
Indeed.
And like I told you, you just can't back down. That's I'm just a moderator, just jumping in here and there. I just think that don't worry about your age, don't worry about your color. Like you said, we was never on track. And you said something very, very real that I normally never do. Real talk, real men. You said if we can't get along, if we can't get united, it'll never work. So you just got to come up with a better strategy. And like you said, I feel like I think my grandmother always says he used the young because they're strong, and the wise because they're the old because they're wise. So you're gonna have to make sure you got you some help. You can't do it by yourself. You got to have somebody with some wisdom somewhere up high. And I know you got a support system because I know who he is. Real talk, real men. Don't worry about my brain. But I know who you are. And the thing is about that is just make sure you got the right wisdom. Not just no blank wisdom.
That's right.
Because the blank wisdom will have you looking crazy. Since real talk, real men, have you looking crazy already with you being black, with you being 18, because we look at that as strength. But you gotta realize everybody's perspective ain't like ours.
Yeah.
So you got to be so concrete in your confidence in yourself that you can make a difference, even if you can't. You just gotta you can't give up. That's just my outtake. That's my outtake. That's my input. That's my input.
I can identify with that. I'll piggyback off of that because when I was it was literally felt like a marathon. You have yours is like a sprint. You got a pretty short race to run in a short period of time. Mine was like a marathon. I had to go against 5 other candidates in my district. And, being my first time running for anything, being the youngest on the ballot and, one of the few people of color in the entire race. But, excuse me, I can honestly say that I felt like giving up, like seriously. Even before, and I had to go to a runoff naturally because there were so many people in that first race. It split the vote so much. And I got second, the second most votes in the primary election. And going into the runoff, before those results came out, I was like, man, I can do this anymore. And I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I really felt like quitting. But then when I made it to that runoff, I was like, wait a minute, maybe this is meant to happen. I feel like it was just, I was like, oh, so and so, maybe they worked harder than me. They're probably gonna get it. No, I mean, I made it to the next level. Then I made it to the next level. I made it to the general election. Actually, I was second the first time, and then I blew out the water like by 100 votes in the runoff election. Going into the general election, I had a bit of confidence about myself. I was like, okay, I got my second win. It felt good to have that little win. I got really 2 wins under my belt after that, and after that, the results didn't even matter because I knew I gave it all. I didn't quit. I let it go all the way to the end, and I lost by maybe 130 votes or something. But anyway, that's what it said, black and white, sir. On the official results, I don't know what it really was, but the official results, real talk. But I really felt like going into it, I was like, okay, I got this thing. And a lot of people that important people that kind of had a pulse on the system, it was like, you good. And then next thing you know, didn't make it through. But I'm confident that I gave it my all, and I knew it happened for a reason.
Mhm.
Not to say, nobody. I would wish COVID on anybody, but they're dealing with COVID now. I would have been having to deal with the statute and COVID and all that. If I was the only person of color on that board, you know what kind of issues I would have had. Like,
Yeah, brought up a lot.
yeah,
Totally.
I would have been like isolated, and anything that I wanted to get, if I voted against them for that statute, anything else that I wanted to get done in my district probably wouldn't have happened. That's just how that board works.
Yeah.
That's any board works. You got to have people on your side, and I'm friends, if you could say that, or associates with a lot of people that are on that board now, and some people that ran, and I feel confident that I could have done what I had to do, but at the same time, I'm like, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I know a lot. I'm a lot wiser for it. I appreciate the experience, and I probably wouldn't. Some of this stuff that I'm doing now, I probably wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for that.
Would you ever run again?
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
real talk, real man. I'm the same answer I tell everybody is the truth. Whatever happens, and it's going to be another year or two before I make that decision. The election is 2023, I think. But whatever God says, whatever the Lord tells me to do, that's what I'm gonna do.
Which brings me to my next point. When I say wisdom, I'm talking about regular people.
Mhm.
But you gotta have your relationship with God, because He gonna give you the words to say. That's right. When you don't know how to say it. I don't know how your relationship is with Him, but if you ain't ever needed it before, you gonna need it now.
I will say it's gotten stronger since the start.
Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just being real with you, because I remember long nights we on the phone. We was having conversations, and the conversation wasn't. They were human conversations, but we had to go to God after you get off the phone, because we can only do so much, but we ain't that smart. That's when it comes to God. But your dad the moon, right?
Yes, sir.
You know God. Oh yeah, yeah. Working on something. And you have to. You get that relationship he got. That man, I know that man be hearing God, so you have to really, really be tuned for yourself. Not for your brother, not for your sister, not for your friend, nobody, for you. And this real talk, man, this ain't even for no election, for your heart.
Mhm.
Because we said we can't be unified. If we can't have unity, it will never work. But if you go in with a messed up heart, what difference are you making?
No.
So I need your heart to be right. Because I'm a big brother today. I'm big bro. I want you to know I don't know everything, but when I know something, I'm gonna tell you. Because that's gonna be the only way. This is just me, because you watch the show, you ever watch the show? This is what I do.
No, but I will watch it after this.
Okay. When he does that, yeah. Because I just want people to know that from this ain't about me, but from where I've been to where I am now, I just want to be effective. So hopefully my words, well, because you 18, like my grandma tell me she's 62. When 62 talking, 32 listen.
Yeah.
So when 32 talking, and he's talking about something,
I'm gonna listen.
Listen to me, because I done been through some things. I ain't ran for nothing, but I done ran for something. Oh, why say so?
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
I am done. I am that right there, boy. I
ain't never ran for nothing, but I ran from something.
But yeah, I was running. I couldn't do it by myself though.
There we are. So
yeah, so that's my thing. Because I'm in your corner, bro. And I ain't in your corner because you black. I ain't in your corner because you're 18. I'm in your corner because I'm your brother. This is what we do. I watched you from here. Now I don't even know how tall you is going, but you look like a grown man right here now. So my point is, I got your back. If I can help you in this type of way, I don't know how this political thing works, but I know this guy. And if I don't know an answer, he can give me something to get to it if it comes to it. But Just go in there with back to the topic of the question of my analogy that I was making. Your heart has to be right for their heart to be right, so we can make a difference. Because even if there's not unity, God can put you in a place. He can use anybody. Please don't get it twisted. He can put you in a place to bridge that gap. But you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for any and everything that's gonna come with this, because it ain't gonna be easy. I'm going through stuff right now in life, and I want you to know that the stuff that's happening to me, it ain't for me. It's for people like you to let you know that you can make it. I just gotta deal with the pain of it. But you're gonna get the victory out of it because you listen. Not just you per se, just in life, people. All right, I think I went too far. Did I warm you up a little bit?
You did.
I think he wanted to hop out the car and start back running.
Hey, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I just
No,
feel like that. I just feel like you need to hear that, bro. Because I just want to boost you up. That's it.
appreciate you. Josh, I was gonna go back to what you said as well a while back about how you during your races you weren't really focused on the destination. You through the middle of it you started to realize all the beauties and values of the journey, and that's honestly how I started looking at this campaign recently, like a month and a half ago, because I'd been so focused on trying to obtain the office that I did feel like I kind of lost sight of exactly why I was doing it. So I had to take some time back for myself as well and kind of come to a conclusion, you know, like, why am I running? And I mean, I'm an advocate for change, Black Lives Matter and all of that. But beyond that, my biggest focus has always been history. And I've always been interested in why it's been the way it's been. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it just looks like exactly what happened last summer when a white man put his neck on one of ours. He put his knee on one of ours necks. And that's honestly what it looks like throughout history as well. And I just want to be a voice of reasoning for us as well. I mean, it's far past reasoning as well, because I mean, if you look on the news and stuff, the whole country is falling apart. I'm not gonna lie about it, but Oxford, I feel at least, can lead by change because we have always been a town that has made history and had forward thinking. So I won't doubt the people's ability to go in and make a decision based on how they feel the city should go forward on election day, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just as curious about how it's gonna go as well, with it being 3 candidates on the ballot this year.
Yeah, well, you know, as I say, everything happens for a reason. Didn't nobody get put in there for nothing. You know, this it was just you and Mayor Tannehill for a little while, and then somebody pops in. I don't know the gentleman's name, but anyway, anybody that would run for that, has got some kind of goal, but at the same time, do it for the right reason. Just like you said, you do want to obtain an office, but along the journey, you're like, wait a minute, let me stop and smell the roses for a second and see what's really going on, because that's kind of what I did. It just the flashbacks of me talking to like these older people or somebody that has a family that has a real problem, and you kind of personalize that and use that as fuel. Like, okay, maybe I really am doing this for the right reason, because there are people that need something. There's people that want change. There are people out there that won't change, and change isn't always bad. And and for anybody that says change is bad or whatever is crazy, but it's inevitable. One way or another, it's gonna happen. And the more you fight it, the rougher it's gonna get, and it's gonna get ugly. And that's why you see all the rioting and people getting killed and put in jail, and all the like you said, the country is going crazy.
Yeah.
And the only way to put the fire out and to calm it down is for us to have these conversations and bridge the gaps and sit down and talk with somebody that doesn't look like us, doesn't think like us, and get them to understand, like, hey, this is what's going on. Why do you think the way you think? Now I'll tell you why. And the more we start understanding, you don't have to say, hey, I appreciate that, or I feel the same way you feel. No, you be lying to me. Don't tell me you feel the same way I feel, because you can't. And if you're you're a 60-year-old white man, you have no idea what it feels like to be a 20 or 30-year-old black man. So don't tell me you know how it feels, or you know how I feel. Just say, I appreciate you, or I love you. In the heart. It starts with the heart. That's the way it's going to get solved.
The only way.
That's the only way it's going to get solved. And the more people, it allows love to penetrate their hearts and open up their mind and hearts to these conversations and to other people's perspective. That's what real talk, real man is about, man. That's why I feel so passionate about it. And the more I talk about it, the more passionate I feel. I'm tingling. But that's the reason I wanted to start this, is to bridge that gap between all walks of life. Black, white, red, blue.
I will say you are
Everybody.
doing good.
What's that?
I said you are doing something really good. I feel like we need more things like this where we can openly discuss issues that we face, and not even just issues, but some of the good things that happen in our life as well, just like I started out in the show. But I don't feel like we as Black people have enough outlets like this. And when we do, it's usually not anything mainstream or anything. Not that I would prefer for it to be either, but I've read books and stuff that have depicted essentially why people are the way they are in this country. And after reading that book, honestly, because I read it recently, it's called Cast by Elizabeth something. I'll probably send it to you after the show, but it was a book written by a white woman, basically depicting race in America and the caste system that's here. And after reading the book, I've been looking at a lot of different people differently, honestly, because the main message of the book was basically that there's a hierarchy system here in America that starts with the white people and ends with the Black people, and everybody else falls in between. And I even had a conversation with one of my Muslim friends the other day, and he couldn't see what I, as a Black man, saw. And I wanted to get upset, but I chose not to.
There you go.
And I chose to hear his perspective and try to put myself in his shoes, but I can't do it because I've dealt with my own issues as well. So for him to sit there and basically shoot me down like that, it kind of made the book seem all the more real to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's real. It's real. There is a system in the background. I try to stay, in my life, and not let those things trickle into my inner circle of my life. My family, my work, businesses, all these things. I try to compartmentalize that because I know there is something going on, but I still got to do me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've been doing as a Black community for generations. We still been getting it, even though we know something's going on. It's not like we're not turning a blind eye because we're still talking about it in the open. But these conversations need to be had in the open. That's the difference that's gonna make. Once you bring it to light, the darkness don't like light. So one of them gotta go.
But I do.
But anyway, brother, man, I appreciate. I think that's a good cap on the show, man. What else you got? When you get done, I do want to leave them with something. That's it.
I was about to say, I can honestly, I was really hoping that we could have done this in person because I can really talk y'all's ears off. That's what most people don't know about me. I am a talker once I warm up, but
hey, we can sit down and talk anytime, man. But on my if I make it too long, I gotta make 2 shows, and then they start charging me more on my pocket on this trip. But anyway, we can sit down and talk. We can definitely sit down and talk some more. But I'm gonna let Big Steady close it out, and I think it's a good cap on it. But so go ahead and say what you got to say.
Well, for one, I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
2, I want to tell you, no matter the outcome, don't look down on yourself. Don't question you. Just when like in boxing, when you hit the canvas, there ain't no other way but up. to get ready to come back running and fighting hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know they're gonna try to throw the stones just because you're a little young. But guess what? There's a Goliath in everybody. You know who Goliath is, right? It's a Goliath in everybody. So I need for you to learn how to pull the Goliath out of you no matter what, but be David at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Because
sir.
it's a giant in you. You just gotta pull him out. But use the concept of David when you do that. And I just want you to know that you ain't alone in this thing right here. This battle called life. And you know, you're gonna have to go in here. They're gonna try to hit you in areas that you might not be comfortable talking about, but you have to be prepared for every single aspect of I'm talking, but I just trying to find the word. I think you feel we have to do every aspect of life because they want you to fold.
Mm-hmm.
But you say, 244 years ago, 240 years ago, we don't fold. And it's not about skin, it's about what's within.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I am steadfast. I will be steadfast. And I pray you will too.
Thank you.
All right, Josh, it's on you. I'm done.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely talk some more, but I think it's a good cap for this particular conversation. But yeah, man, I'll say I'm proud of you too, man. I really was anxious to hear what you had to say and get a feel about you because I didn't get to talk to you much at the event last week. But I'm proud of you. I appreciate you getting out there. I respect it. And let me know what you need, from me. And, I'll do everything I can. I don't publicly endorse people, whatever. I appreciate you. I can say that to anybody. But man, we'll talk again. We'll talk later. But I'm gonna sign off at this one. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Take care of everybody else. And always keep it real.
Yes,
Peace. Appreciate you, brother.
You guys have a good one.
Oh, you too, dog.